Okay, so hey guys, this is part two of our Japanese landscape. We're doing a 2 point perspective colorist landscape. We're not painting, we're coloring with colored pencils, and it is an art medium unto itself. So you want to, some people call themselves the artists who do this. This is part two. And let me tell you what we did in part one. If you just join us for two, I set up the station. The water got a little bit dirty because of the watercolor pencils. So for the first part, I did the roof. Okay, I did set up my section. So for the roof, I used two types. I used light blue. I used a little bit of this dark blue, I hope. Yes, it is. And just to play it off safely, where's my white? There's my white. I did use some white. Even though we can't see it, we can always grab a pencil. And so I use light blue, dark blue, and white. Now to darken it, I did mix blue and orange. That's the complementary. So what happens is, let me move my tissue section out. So same thing we do here in the color wheel. We mix these two. If you can see the yellow, the blue, it's complementary for blue will be orange. If I go blue purple, will be yellow orange. So what I did is I grabbed some orange. You guys are going to see the same effect. If I put a little bit, let me sharpen my pencil. I've got to make sure it's good. Boy, oh boy, it's not working as I want it, and that's what I dislike about this. So let me use my knife. Let me move the notes paper too over there. Where's my other pencil sharpener? Let's see if this little one works. Sometimes this one, nope. I can see it's the wood. It's cracking. So the wood is cracked. I see a line in there. Where's my knife at? I had my stencil knife somewhere over here the other day. Oh, there it is. So if you're doing this at home like I am, and you have a stencil knife. That's how we used to sharpen pencils back in the old day. So if I put a little bit of orange down here, I'm going to show you what happens to it. So here we put on the foundation a little bit orange below. And here we're going to put dark blue on this side. And you're going to see it darken here. See that? This is when I add orange. Okay, just to remember. That's the complementary. And with the light blue, here's the light blue. I'm going to add it here too. And you're going to see it darkens. That's the shadow of the color. Now, you can go this way too. Put the blue first, like I'm doing right now. And the dark blue. I prefer adding it on top, to be honest with you, when I color pencils. You still get the same effect, except it darkens much faster. And the blue remains there. See that, guys? So that's what I did. Now, if I go with a whiter blue, you're going to see what happens now. Here's when I add the white. So let's just say the white. So I'm going to put white down here first. White down. Let's put white all over the place. And then we're going to do two. We're going to do the baby blue. Okay. You're going to notice it's going to turn much lighter. Then with the dark blue, same thing. You're going to get a lighter tone. The problem is when you don't add white first. That's what happens. The blue will become lighter, but it's still, if you add more white to it, let's see if I can darken it down here. Throw that white I put down there. A little bit, yeah. This is what's going to happen when I add the orange. You're going to see that? You can still see it turn it orange. So what happens is the orange is mixing with the white. It's getting the tone. You don't want that to happen. So if I add blue on top, it will darken again. But it's going to turn black. So a darker shadow. You're basically burning the color, and I am pushing it in there. So see that? So just, So here what I did is I put orange, orange first, then second on top. Okay, so that's what happens. It's up to you guys to develop your own method. So this is how I did the roof. Whoops, let me get rid of that orange here. The roof. So my light's coming from this source. You guys can see this. It's lighter on this side because I added white to it. But I used the lighter blue and then darker on this side. Now back here, if you notice on my cherry blossom, I grabbed a little bit of the black. Is this black? No, that's blue again. Let me grab. I'm going to just play it safe. I know this is my black one. I do this to my black ones, so especially when I'm coloring late in the afternoons. Whoa, that's a lot. Now let me close the door. My mom's watching television Sunday. We just came back from our Sunday drive. Now what I'm doing is, that's how I did. Let's talk about tree trunks. I'm going to talk about tree trunks later on, but let's talk about the bush on the cherry blossom. Cherry blossom. Usually I do, or blue some, whatever you want to. What I used purple, or actually I use, believe it or not, I use white again, pink on top, and then down at the bottom I use purple. Purple or violet, whatever you want to call it. I prefer violet. That's how we take. So what I use is, let me find my pink. I always lose my pink. I've never kind of cared for the color pink, but so my color pink, where is it? I used it yesterday. We can make your own pink, but there it is. It's always hiding. It knows that I don't treat it nicely. There we go. So this is how I did my cherry blossoms. What I did is I put a little bit of white on top. Okay, I'm going to notice a lot of white here, and it's going to make my pink from looking hot pink. Pink is part of the red family, so you can darken it sometimes with green, but I wouldn't recommend that. So here's my pink for my cherry blossom, and the purple. Got to look for my purple. I hope this is purple. Is this purple, Mr. Navas? No, it's not. So I always like to test it out. This looks like purple. No, it's still blue. Might as well keep my blues on one side. Not done with the blues yet. So if you look at the cherry blossoms here, I use purple underneath it. There's one purple. I had more purples the other day. No, so grabbing my purple, there it is. Okay, there's my purple. So remember, for the rooftop, to make it, I added only white and blue to make it lighter. If I wanted to darken it, I went with a dark blue, but I also could darken it with a little bit of orange in there. I wouldn't recommend it with the blue, dark orange, unless you want to emphasize, but go for it if you need to. Or just go with a dark blue. That's my advice. Go with a dark blue, and then the lighter blue, add white, and use the lighter blue. It's up to you. So if you notice, and then I retraced it later on with a pen, which I'm going to show what I did second. So these ones are very important. Let me just put them here. There, because it reminds me I need these. And I have my color wheel next to me, the one I made with you guys, because I don't have black to this. Now the tree is a little bit different. Tree and dirt. Except when I do dirt, I add white to it to make it look more earth tone. So this is for the cherry blossom. Let's go. Cherry blossom. Sorry. There we go. Cherry blossom. And the technique to the cherry blossom, I arch. For the roof, I went diagonal vertical. I went this way. For the trees, the tree trunks here, you notice the tree trunks? What I did is I used first, I went 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. For the trees, I added white, then yellow. We added these two together. Then I added, to the yellow, I added orange for a transition. And then the brown. And the reason is it makes it go. Let me show you what happens. So I got, let's go with the color. I got, whoops, made a mistake here. We can still fix it because you know why? Brown and orange are of the same family. That's why. So I have my brown. I have my orange. I have, let's put some white here. Even though you guys can't see it, there's white. Put a square in it. And a little bit of yellow. And so I went, all right, go first. So here's what happens. So see that? So let me put the draw, I don't want to draw over it. Go with white first. Okay. Let me put more white. Then I added the yellow. It will soften up. There we go. Then I added the orange. So you guys can see that. Maybe a little bit more orange here. And then the brown. Except it's not blending here. It's blending with the orange. Notice that? But if I put a bit more orange in here, it will blend nicer. Trust me. There we go. Put some more orange in here. Put yellow into that orange to make it lighter. And that's how I make my brown lighter. It's that simple as that, guys. There we go. Okay, now to darken it, there's a trick to darken your brown. So I'm putting my brown first. I know. I'm going to add, where's my purple at? Forgot my purple. This is my purple. One of these is the purple. No, that's blue. That's still blue. The purple's very important, right? And that's still blue. Leave the pen right there, Mr. Navas. Color is that? That's black. Let me grab the black. I will need the black. Then, that's still blue. My God, how much blue do I have? Here's another purple. Oh, there they are. So now the purple. Violet. Why the violet? Well, it's the complementary of yellow. So remember, believe it or not, brown has a little bit of yellow. So if I put the brown here, and I put in, let's just put a little bit of orange just to be on the safe side. I'm going to lighten it up again. Maybe a little bit yellow in there just in case. A little bit of yellow just in case. Bring back the brown. We're basically activating the pigments in the brown. So it's going to look like a darker brown. Here's the regular brown. Now comes the purple. See that? And you're going to see it darken. If you think it's too much, there you go. See that? Now, I'm not fully done. Let's see if I add more brown here. Okay. Then I'm going to add, where's my black? Did I put my black in there? There's my little black. I have another black pencil, but this one will work just as nicely. And I add my black for my value, the black. Then 5, and then 6. The black goes last. See that? So that's how I did the tree. You can also do dirt this way, except I add more white to it, not so much yellow. We'll talk about that later on. So that's how I did the tree. Mountains, I'm probably going to do black and purple. That's what we're going to work on next. But before we do that, and let's put these groups separate, so we're going to need them again. So let's talk about, so let's say you finish one section. I told you if you don't have a fill tip, I had to go buy some. I went to Staples, and I had to go buy some fill tip pens. And they're only using these right now because the other company that makes them, it's not in the United States. And due to the pandemic, they can't ship them out to the United States right now. But these ones are made in America by Staples. If you don't have this type of pencil, use a ballpoint ink pen. And let me show you where I use. And just make sure it's black ink. Blue doesn't work too well, so let's make sure that's dried up. There's the black one. This is, so what I did is, so imagine you don't have a fill tip like I have here. And again, use something so you won't, for your landscape. Here we go. You want to retrace your drawings for your stone. I did the windows, also did the corners here. I should have done these ones. But if you want to use a fill tip, it works good too with a fill. It's much better. Fill tips were meant for this. Okay, there we go. As you can see right now. But a ballpoint ink pen will do just as nice. And the best thing about these, they don't. Now, why am I doing this right now this way? Is because I'm going to show you how to do sandstone, or basically stone. We're going to color it the color orange, but I want to ink this first, and you want to let it wait for a while, let it dry it up. So I've already done the upper parts of the castle, and the reason I'm going to do this, clean it out, is because I don't want the graphite to stay in there and dirty it up. Okay, it did happen to me a little bit on the rooftop, so I had to retouch up. I had to put more colored pencil when I turned that off. And try to gather your information, your materials like I should have done before the video. But yeah, there we go. Emphasize my stone here too. I just might, do my little crack here. Emphasize here more. Whoops. Make that work for us. There we go. Use a ballpoint ink pen if you have one. If you have fill tips, be careful. Don't press too much because you're going to let it blot up with ink. Okay, so think of it like a squid. That's, there we go. So here we go. Here's our, whoops. And these will bleed through the paper. You don't want to do that. Have I done all the stones here? Most of them. Let's put one here so it'll stick out. Here's another one. Oh, there's another one I missed. Okay, put a little shadow in there. Maybe it's gapping, it's, getting old. Here's another one. But use a ballpoint ink pen. No, is that nope, wrong pen. Which one is this one? So trying to, okay. So I'm going to go back to the ballpoint ink pen, which most of you guys might have at home. And you might save more money using this, believe it or not. The more affordable you get for a price, what I paid for these, you might get a whole box of black ink pens you might need, not just for this class, but for your English class. So again, I'm trying to trace all my stones. You guys can see that. And you should let your ink dry up for a little bit. Our light source is still coming from here. So I already shared the notes one more time on how I did the cherry blossom, the tree trunks. And we're not done yet. We got to finish the mountains and the bottom of the moat. I'm gonna show you how to draw grass, dirt, mountains, and water. So let's do this. There we go. Put a little bit of ink here. Let's finish. Oops, didn't do this side too. And I just trace not all the stones, most of them, but you want to get them all in there. There we go. Because we want to make it look like an ink drawing, like the Japanese. They call it painting in Japan, and then they make prints. They make duplicates. It's no secret. Albert Dürer, the fifth Renaissance master, the guy who only was self-employed compared to Michelangelo, Donatello, and Da Vinci, he had his printing press, whereas the other guys had to work for some rich prince or a pope. He was the only smart one. He grabbed his dad's printing press, and he started selling prints. Nobody knows how the Japanese figured this out, too. Japanese artisans and artists. But Japanese art was very popular among the Impressionists in the 1800s, late 1800s in France. And they wanted just to do light without using black. So here I added black with the purple. Here I didn't blend that much black. I wanted to do it more like an Impressionist. I wanted to see more light. So I'm almost done with my stones here. So I think we're pretty good with this right now. We will have to let this ink to dry up. And I'm using the ballpoint. I'm not going with the fill tip. I did my windows. I'm going to trace this a bit more. So I might need the fill tip here just to emphasize this part. There we go. Very carefully. There's a little piece of garbage that should have gone away. There we go. And let me just emphasize the line here in this tower. Sometimes they're referred wrongfully as a pagoda, but they're not. A pagoda is an octagon tower or round tower, mostly found in Korea and China. You might find a few in Japan, but not too much. They're mostly for Buddhist monasteries, a monastery or an abbey. And let me do my lines here. Oh, that came out very nice. Kind of happy. Not so disappointed now with this. Whoops, I went a little bit, but that's okay. I can still fix it. And it looks little by little more like sometimes the fill tip captures that thing. You can't do that with a ballpoint ink pen. But if we have a ballpoint ink pen, that's okay. There we go. There's the window on top of there. Just tracing. I don't know why I'm tracing where I've used my ballpoint ink. I like ballpoint ink pens sometimes because they don't bleed so much into the paper. Gotta be careful with these fill tips. They are bleeders, and they do go. You put too much ink there, they will, rip through the paper. You have to be very careful when you're being a colorist. So you guys can see what I'm doing. So right now I'm going to emphasize on the cylinders here. There we go. The rooftops, the tiles in Japan, China, and North Korea and South Korea are mostly, let me put just a few lines, not too much. We lose some of the details. There we go. Some few here, not too much. You lose a few of those because, we're looking at things at a distance. Okay, I think we're good with that. I don't think we need to do a little bit more. Let's say my bridge here. I'm going to do something right now with the bridge. I'm going to make it look like a red bridge. I'm going to grab a red one. I'm going to need some orange too. A little bit of yellow. Oh, I know. You guys are thinking, what's with the yellow and the reds? Okay, and this is the red. So I'm going to sharpen my red a little bit. I'm going to use my good pencil sharpener. I want to get rid of some of that. And this is really old. There we go. Nice. Okay, got a good tip there. So what I'm going to do is two things. I am going to make it look like a wooden bridge. So what I'm going to do is two things. I'm going to do, so you guys can see this. Most bridges in Japan are made of wood and painted red for good luck. So I'm going to erase some of this. I'm going to turn it into a ghost. Okay, so now I should add a little bit of yellow on top because the light's going to be reflecting on this side. And maybe a little bit down here because the light reflects from water. So yeah, it's just like painting, guys. Whoever tells you coloring with pencils, nah, that's not. It's the same thing. So I'm going to put my orange first before I let it blend. I cannot put the red straight up because it's going to turn orange. There we go. Okay. There we go. Maybe put a little bit more red down here. And now a little bit orange down here. And then I'm going to go to the red. Well, I'll see what happens. So throw this away. It's a pity that happens. But I think I have another. Is this red? No, it's more. Nope, that is red. Let's get rid of that. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to do the lines here. So I'm making my red bridge here. Put a little bit more red here. I think it's more like a red-orange. So just in case, I'm going to use this red right here. There we go. There we go. Got my red in there. There's my bridge. It's red, I know. Bridges in Japan are done like that. So we're done. It's at a distance. We can't do. So now that I've done this, so let's work on the stone. So remember, we have light coming in. I want to finish the subject first. So now that I've done this, I'm going to grab my eraser, the clean side. I hope all of this will erase, not smudge. Well, so I'm erasing all of this, and I'll tell you why. I don't want the graphite, the pencil lead, as you kids call it, or the graphite to blend in with the color. Okay, so now remember, this side is going to be a little bit darker. This side is going to be, this is going to be the lighter side. So, okay, so let me just get rid of this eraser. And there we go. So see that? I'm going to grab my ballpoint ink pen one more time, or one of them. Don't want to use a fill tip. This one's already open. So I noticed some of these stones were not. Okay, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to add, so since my light's hitting this reflection on this side, okay, I'm going to do a little trick. And please don't share this with anybody else. I'm going to add white. I'll tell you what. Same thing we did. Here I'm going to darken this a bit more, but I'm going to add white here. Stick to this side. And we're going to transition this into a yellow white. There we go. Put some more water. I'm sorry, white in here. There's a little bit more here. Maybe a little bit here. Try to get all of these. Give it a good washing of white, even though it's a pencil. Don't wet it. I notice the paper's wearing down. Notice what happened? The ink. I should have let it dry a little bit more. So I made a mistake already. Craftsmanship mistake. So, okay, good. A little bit more white here. A little bit more white here on top. Not enough. Now what I'm going to do, let me put it right here on the line, because this is where the light's going to hit. Now, very gently, I'm going to add yellow. Especially here. Maybe here a little bit more, because the light's going to be much more brighter here. Okay, let's put it here. So a few of these stones are popping out, a few are not, and that's okay, that's what we want. Let's put this here. Okay. I just noticed I didn't do a stone there, but that's okay, it's going to work for us. And there's not that much graphite here. Good. And let's get this line at least. In the mirror, this is my light reflection. So we're doing like the Impressionist. There we go. Okay, good. Let's try to get a little bit more of these. There's a little one that's right here in the corner is escaping. A bit more. Okay, so again, for the moat wall, I added, let's call this the moat base. Let's call it just the moat base of the castle. I added white, yellow, and then finally orange. This is the light side, where the light goes. The lighter side. Then the darker side, I'm just going to add orange. Actually, I might just use a little bit of light blue, but let's just do this right now. So now I have this. Okay, and before it starts cooling down, I'm going to add the orange. So, and that's going to start to look more like stone. Whoops. It's not going to look like pure orange, it's going to look like stone. You're going to see the difference. So now I'm going to add the orange down here. And it's going to look like it's going to be darkening. Whoops. Let's go here too. A little bit. And if you see, hey, they all don't look all the same. That's okay. We don't want that. We want the light to reflect differently on each stone. There we go. And I'm going to trace a few of these later on with ink too again. So there we go. Let me get this side right now. Just notice that. So we're trying to make these. Now remember, some of these will need some shadows, and I'll show you what to do with shadow right now. There we go. There we go. Up here too. Not so much here. I don't want to. I want to see more light there. There we go. Okay, so now we got our stones here. Okay, see that? Now this side's supposed to be darker. So for the dark side, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to add the complementary of orange is blue. So I'm going to go with a light blue. So for the bottom, that's the top. So I went for the top. Remember this. I went with white, yellow, and then orange. Okay, this is for the light. For the dark side, I'm gonna go with baby blue or light blue. Baby blue. Very little. So I went 1, 2, 3. 1, and then I'm gonna add the orange. Now here's the deal. I'm not going to add baby blue on the whole section. I'm going to go on this side where the darkest parts are. So right here, I'm going to start mostly on the bottoms of the stones. Just right down here. Maybe here I should have done that, but not too much. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now so you can see the shadow a little bit here. I'm going to add, I'm going to add more orange down here now. And okay, and it does have yellow in there, so I can mess with purple too. But just to play on the safe side, I'm going to go with the, there we go. See that? Okay, so I could add the purple for transition, but I'm not going to do that yet. So again, so coming back to the dark side, remember what colors we go. We go with baby blue and orange. Okay, and that's it. So now I'm going to add just a little bit right here in the darker side. So these. Okay, did I erase this part? Let me see. I think I didn't erase much of it here. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. So I'm going to emphasize here. This side's going to be darker than the other, just a little bit. And maybe a little bit down here too. Following the twist. Not all of it. Maybe just a little bit here. Not too much, but mostly down here. And will darken. You will get that a little bit here, but not too much. I want to have some contrast. Mostly up here. I didn't color all of it, just partially. If you notice, I just got a little bit, not too much. Now I'm just going to go with the orange right now. And let me darken this up here. Put more orange down here sometimes. I noticed that. And this will help create. Okay, so now, just so we can have a little bit contrast, let me just emphasize a little bit more on this side too. So you guys will be able to see some of the contrast. Not too, a little bit here. So I'm going to put more blue in the center, but not so much. Because light bends. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to add, let me put these on the side. I don't want to dirty this up. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do the top. This one's going to darken already. This one here too. We're going to get some color here. We're going to see the colors darken now. Well, I kind of got it on the water. Let me sharpen my pencil more. Oh, this one sharpens nicely. Always new colored pencils, they actually are much better in the beginning. If you let your colored pencils sit for a long time, the wood dries up. So now you're going to be seeing the shadow. You see that, guys? Well, got to do it quick. So maybe there's some light bending down here. There we go. Let's do this right now. So I do want it to look like there's some light coming onto the other side. Also be careful, you don't want to bring some of the blue on this side. So now let's do the stone right here. So you will get some light reflection, but you want to emphasize, don't want to bring some blue here too, because it's going to turn green because of the yellow. So I want to keep it here. So I'm using the tip more because I'm blending in my color. So this side's going to look a little bit darker than this side. Let's go in here too. Let me get that little stone down there. There we go. Good. And also there's water down here, so you're going to get more. Let me get this stone down here. There we go. So these stones are going to look a little bit, yeah, this is the dark side. They're going to have more shadow. Okay, so there's going to be shadow down here. So again, remember, I'm using a different method of how to blend here too. Should be going this way. It's much better too if I go just one way. I keep going back and forth. Terrible habit of mine. I haven't been able to break even in college. Our programs, there we go. There we go. So now you're going to notice, and if you want to go up and down, I would highly recommend that too. It gets rid of the lines too. There we go. Let's get that stone in there too. Let me get these stones down here. These sides are... So right now this side should be a little bit darker than the other. You're going to notice more shadows. See that? Clean your pencil more. I'm going to get rid of some of that yellow. Let me get rid of this here. And since I have my cherry blossoms here on the light side, I'm going to put a little bit orange, not a little bit on top. Also help this out. Okay, so we're pretty much got this. Now, I'm not completely done with the castle. I got to add the shadow on it. So let's find the black. Where's my black? Where's my trusty black color pencil? I do have another black. Is this it? Yeah, this I can use this. So the light's coming from this side. So this means I'm going to have shadow on this side, but not completely. Remember, light bends. So this means this side is going to be a little bit, there's going to be shadow here. Probably a little bit more up here. So I'm going to do the top first. This side's going to be a little bit darker because of the top of the building. Not too much. Okay. And then I'm going to make it lighter. Same thing here. It's going to be much more darker on this side. Then these guys, they're going to be darker here. Light's going to be coming through here, so you're going to notice one side. So this means there's going to be light in the center. Okay, there we go. But on the top and at the bottom, there's going to be, there we go. Okay. Maybe a little bit lighter, but it's going to be a little bit darker on top of here. And then, of course, I'm kind of just trying to make it gray looking, not too much. This side's going to be darker. There we go. But light bends, remember that. So did I finish here? Nope. It's going to be more on this side. Maybe a little bit more shadow here. This side's going to be a little bit darker. So this side. Up here, well, of course, this side, not so much down here. But again, it's going to be a little bit, whoops, and keep it going one direction. Okay, this is not a good time to do contrast. So very light here. You might start getting darker here a bit more. There we go. But I would not put as much. Keep it light here. Keep it very light here on the sides. There we go. And then darken it here. But then down here, there's going to be more shadow on this side as well as here. Okay, we are light bands, so it's going to go lighter here, but more shadow here. Same thing with the buildings here. I'm going to notice more shadow on this side. little bit of shadow here too. Maybe the light's coming out the windows. There we go. Down here. You want to have contrast against this side. This side's going to remain white. Okay. There we go. You're probably going to have more shadow on top and right here too. Very light. You got to control your shadow. So it's going to go this way. So there's going to be a little white spot right there. Not too much, but just a little bit. Let me do the shadow down here. Okay, down here, same thing. I'm leaving this look too. And then you can, if you think your stones are too light, you want to add some shadow here. Go for it. You have to be careful not using too much black. Okay, because when you add too much, then it looks. There we go. Blend it in. A little bit more on top of here. Okay. Because remember, this is the part that is dark, and maybe a little bit more up here. There we go. And it very light up here. We did light up here. Light's going to hit this side, so this means your shadow's going to be down here. So if it goes through here, basically, and if you want to darken your windows, you know what? You can turn them yellow if you want. Maybe to have some light there. So let's darken this bit more. There we go. So let me darken this side more. Lighter there, but darker here in the center. And keep this, again, like a circle. There we go. So yeah, I'm trying to create contrast. There we go. Mostly back here. There we go. A little bit too much shadow there, but that'll work. Okay, so we got our dark side. And so you really don't want to add too much black in here. I'm trying to add just a little bit down here too. Not too much. Mostly on the bottom of the stones. And down here too. I'm going to notice more shadow down here than on the other side. There we go. So I'm following the line of the stone. There we go. And maybe down here under the bridge. Not too much. Okay, so we're not done with the black yet. So we got to figure out where's the light. Oh, forgot to do this back side. So the light's coming on this side. So this means that's going to go light here. And then right here, just a little bit of shadow. And then right here too, just a little bit. I'm really bad at, be honest with you, when I do just plain black. I work better when, okay, so there's going to be a little bit more shadow on this side. There's going to be a little bit of shadow down here too. Okay, not too much, but just a little bit because of the roof. There we go, down there too. Okay, maybe down here as well. Okay, so now here's where my shadow is going to go. Right down here. Except this one's going to be lighter. There we go. And so, and a little bit more shadow down here. Let's put more. And then just a little bit down here. And I will notice shadow inside. There we go. A little bit shadow here too, but not too much. And I think we pretty much got this. See that? So now you can do this. There's an easier way to do shadow. You can go this way. Figure out, okay, here's my tower. It's going to go this way. So you can go this way. That's another way to doing it. But we're not done with the ripples. We got to do the ripples in the water. Okay. Another way to do this for shadow, let me show you an easier way. This is what I used to do. So it's going to go this way, so I'm going to go this way. Well, let's do this. So I know it's not, whoops, so you guys can see that. Not too much, just a little bit for my shadow there. And then same thing on this side. I'm going to go over here, use the same dirty. It's going to go this way. And now, as you guys can see that, whoops, I guess I won't say I'm using the improper finger. I've always used the middle finger for work, like that. Don't mean nothing by that. Emphasize my shadow here. A little bit of shadow down here. More of a valley. So I added the gray or the black first. We'll fix that later. And if you think you can still erase, that's the great thing. So now I'm not fully done. I just realized, oh, I forgot to do the shadow on this side too. There we go. Not completely done. Let me check. You want to add some shadow here, go for it. Not too much. So I really went really dark here. I don't know why, but I did. Because you guys are on camera. So I want you guys to see it. So maybe down here a little bit more. There we go. So we have the contrast. I'm leaving this white here. You can add a little bit, maybe texture. Up here, we can do the same thing we did there. Just add a little bit to this. There we go. Just not too much. Very lighter. There we go. A lighter one here too. Same thing here. So we know it's probably painted gray or black. But if you think you add too much, just you grab an eraser tip and erase it. That's a great thing about this. There we go. Okay, so the windows. Here's the thing. What should we do? Well, there's one tradition. Let me grab the yellow again, if I can find it. Where's the yellow at? What did I do with the yellow? I had it in a group. Let me see, guys. So you guys can see what's going on. There you go. Let me look for the yellow right now. Oh, God. I should have an extra yellow somewhere, but I always keep. Why? You guys are going to go through the same thing as I'm going through, like when you're looking for it. Okay. That's why. So we're not fully done yet. So I'm going to grab the purple right now. I'm going to do the mountains. I'm pretty much happy with the castle, but let's finish the moats. I'm still looking for my. Oh, there it is, and the blue too, and the black. So here's the black I need. I forgot to put. So grabbing the yellow. This is what we can do. We can put our window, our lights. We have inside light here. Okay, so they're probably burning oil. From oil lamps, from made out of whale oil back then. That's what they used to do. Even so, put a little bit of white here too. There we go. I just noticed I didn't add that much shadow over here, so I'm going to use my black here too. That's what I was noticing right here. Whoops, that's too much shadow actually. I'm going to have to gray it out. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. Put that window here. Maybe a little shadow down here too. Would I need shadow there? Maybe not. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just adding yellow to this for the windows. If you want to, there we go. Down here, just a little bit. You know, we can imagine there's some light in there. They can't be all dark in there. They got to look at the gunpowder and where it's located at. There's a lot of open window here. Another open window here. So put some light in there. Little light in here too. Light in there. Okay. There we go. Can't see that distance. There we go. So I think we're good. So we pretty much got our so mountains. Let me show you how to do mountains right now. So I already drew over the cherry blossoms, but here's what we want to do. We didn't finish all the tree trunks inside the cherry blossoms. So we're going to finish them right now, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to grab, since I have the yellow, I'm going to grab that, an orange, and a brown. Just want to make sure that is the right. Here's my orange. So I'm going to put a little bit. So notice they look like veins. So I'm going to put just a little bit of orange in there where I see my tree trunks. It will blend. Trust me. You can't do this with paint, but you can do it this way with colored pencils. Okay, good, good. Here's another one that goes in there. We do it differently. We paint the tree branches first when we paint. So now, let me put another tree branch here. Let me cover this up more with orange. Blend a little bit of yellow in there for lighter brown. That's what the yellow and orange does. It creates a lighter orange brown. So, and now that I've done that, if you have a lighter brown, go with that, or just go with a darker, whatever brown you have. I'm gonna go with a lighter brown just to be on the safe side. And it's good to skip around. So right now I got cherry blossoms there. So I'm gonna blend in the brown. So we're blending. And that's something whoops, that's not part of the, so right now I'm going, whoops, I just killed the brown. Take it out of there, it's out of the game. Grab a different brown. It's a little bit darker, but it will work. And just put it in there. And don't worry, the color of the cherry blossoms blends in. So we did the cherry blossoms in the first video. I'll do another sample of cherry blossoms more. I want more cherry blossoms falling in. And we'll blend in with the landscape. So colorists actually went out first to paint their landscapes or the building or the person they were doing when they had colored pencils. And later on they would do, using that copy to do the oil paint or the watercolor or tempera paint. Or in case of the Japanese, it was the watercolor. So now that I've done that, I'm going to grab pink. I'm going to do a couple of more extra cherry blossoms for you guys. So I just don't know. Is that black? Yeah, that's black. So we'll keep the two black ones there. With the blue for a while. Let me put these on the side. Oh, there's the pink, and I need purple. So that's what I did. So for the bottom of the cherry blossom, always put a, whoops, that's blue. That's not good. I should have tested that. Still blue. Where's my purple when I need it? That's purple. There we go. So that's what I do. I go flat like this. See that? Cherry blossoms do that. They get a purple underneath it. Okay, don't ask me why, but it does. And you're saying, but Mr. Navas, we got to paint the mountains. Yeah, don't worry. We'll get to the mountains. Don't worry. So I'm going to have a couple of, and oh, what about the grass and water? Don't worry. We got to let them blend in. We will get that in. There's another cherry blossom. I'm going to put another cherry blossom here falling. Remember, you arch going down with the purple because that's where the shadow of the cherry blossom is. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of cherry blossoms falling down on this side too. Okay, don't worry about the, I'm going to cover this up. So I'm actually darkening these a little bit more. And don't worry, they do blend, trust me. You might want to use, I don't use that much black, but I will. So, and then don't forget where you drop your cherry blossoms. I'm going to flip it around now. I'm going to put the pink on top. And I'm going to leave the white of the paper there for them. Okay, there's probably going to be a few cherry blossoms down here too. So a couple of more purple. Not down yet. So put the pink on top of the purple arch. So same thing. So you're going to arch it, arch it, arch it. So think of it like an egg. That's what they look like. At a distance, they're all fuzzy. They're actually, that's what the cherry blossoms are doing. They're marrying their girlfriends across. So this could be the boy, that could be the girl, either way. And that's how they're trying to make new cherry blossom trees during the spring because of the weather. Birds and, you know the. So let's put some more pink down there. It will blend. And some purple. Okay, so now let me put some more pink on top. Okay, let's talk about the mountains. So we pretty much got the castle. What I did is I just used yellow for the light. You know, put a little bit in here inside the windows. They would be light in there. Today they look dark because they're museums now. Sad to say this, that's what they are. Tourist spots, historical in Japan, just like in Western Europe. So, and also, since I have the purple here, I can even darken my stones a little bit more with it, believe it or not. But I say don't go that crazy, because up here too. But light this bent. There we go. It will darken. So again, you have a lighter stone here and a darker on the other side. So let's talk about the mountains. Mountains at a distance look purple. Okay, guys. So at a distance, the dark side of your mountain is going to have a purple side to it, and here it's going to be lighter. So let me do this one more time. So my mountains are going to look purple. So got a mountain here too. Okay, except the back side is going to look, I'm going to do like a volcano here, like Mount Fuji. So let's do Mount Fuji at a distance. That looks bad. Just going to make it another hill. So I'm going to start doing mountains here with you guys in purple. Can you guys see that? Whoops. And I'm going to go in here. Okay, but I'm going to leave some white here for contrast. And here I'm going to paint this purple down here. I'm just going to do it very softly. There we go. Okay, so blend this in. There's my mountain, except this side's going to be darker, because that's where the shadow is, but not too much, because that's where my cherry blossom is. So here's my cherry blossom tree. This side's going to be darker on this part. Okay, so keep it on one side darker. Mountains at a distance. Also keep it a lighter value tone. Remember when we add the white to it? Keep the white of the paper as so. Let's go in here. Let me darken this so we can have some contrast there. Get into that corner. There we go. Can you guys see that? Now here's what I'm going to do. To darken my mountain on one side, I'm going to add black to the purple. That's all. Okay. Going to darken this side of the mountain. I'm not going to touch the other one. I'm just going to put black in there just to emphasize the shadow. I'm going to stop here because that's where my cherry blossom tree's at. And maybe let's get in here with the purple. There we go. Very softly cover that up. Okay. So and make sure you don't touch your other mountain. So I'm putting the black on this side. Do you guys see that? I'm not trying to hide it from you guys. I gotta look at it. Whoa, so I'm gonna blend it in, not too much. Now I'm coming in with the purple. So this is gonna be my lighter side of my mountain. So let me push this down. Okay, right here. Okay, so now there we go, and down here too. Don't want to paint the walls of the castle purple, but here we go. So, and I want some contrast with this, and again, the cherry blossom tree. Now, if you need to, grab the black again, and you can go this way, just not all of the lines. Let's just know this is part of the cherry blossom. There we go. There's the bush of the cherry. It's almost transparent, the cherry blossom tree. So if you want to make contrast a little bit, grab your green and put it in there. Just a little bit. It lets it know there's something green back there in the landscape growing. We're not going to get to that yet, but it's creating that contrast a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. It lets it know there's something green growing down there. We'll get to that later on. Okay. So now I'm gonna flip. Mamá, estoy haciendo un video. Vete. Sorry, my mom just. And this is what happened. She made me messed up. Oh God. Okay, so if you have to get your parents out of if you're focused on your writing and your homework, get them. That's what I had to do. So I'm making the purple now for the mountain here. Okay. So always remember contrast when you want to. So I'm leaving the white here so I can see the contrast between this mountain and the next mountain on top. Okay, so I'm gonna put more purple back here with the black, and maybe a little bit down here. There we go. So I'm gonna use some of that black. Where did I angrily threw the black pencil at? Is this the other one I have? Better to test it out. Yeah, that's the other one. So now I'm gonna do that hill. Here's another hill here. So I use the black sometimes to help you out. Okay. So yes, they do blend. So mountains are purple. Okay. Now I know. So Winston Churchill was afraid of black. He didn't like to blend in his colors. And when I see his paintings, he paints a lot like an impressionist. Okay. And these ones are going into the mist. These ones, there's a few back here. They're really dark. I'm going to do a line here. So I'm going to do another mountain back here, but this one's going to be more darker. There we go. And it's going to go lighter here. But back here, same thing here. It becomes much lighter back here. So let me blend in the purple. And they're both cold colors, so they blend in nicely. Okay. And here we have something like another hill, but do you guys see that? They're coming in, and so right here too. I'm going to put my purple down here very softly. Lets me know there's mountains back here. And back here as well. Let me just... That's where my mom interrupted me. I hate when that happens. And it's the same method when we do clouds. Sorry about that. So let me get back here with the purple again. That's going to be my darker side of this hill. So this one's going to be a little bit darker than the others. Now I can't see because of the light. Okay, so so now I'm going to darken, maybe put another mountain here. Maybe I should do my Mount Fuji here. There. No, that's a lot of mountains. So this side's going to go lighter, and this side is going to be darker. So let me put a little bit purple down here. Not too much, just very lightly. There we go. Okay, so now do you have to add black? Now, sometimes some people prefer just to go purple. Like I told you, Winston Churchill never ever he just did his mountains in purple. And sometimes if the building was yellow, if it had a cream color yellow to it, I noticed when he painted in Morocco, he did a painting for FDR called the Atlas Mountains at Marrakesh, and he actually just blended in white and yellow, and for the shadow he just put purple. You could see it still blend, and was given to the Roosevelt family, but I guess it went off for auction today. So President Franklin D. Roosevelt got that as a present, but I think he willed it to a couple of his children instead to the nation, and it's being sold by the family today, or this weekend was being auctioned off. I guess whoever the FDR descendant who has it inherited needs the money. So art is not just for pleasure; it's an investment. Most of these big banks that invest for people, these financial banks, not like your regular run-of-the-mill banks you see in your neighborhood. Investment banking, they actually invest 1/3 of people's finances in art. They do 1/3 of it in art, another third in real estate, and the other third in the stock market or investment, actually. So art is 1/3. Although some people do invest more in art, they know what they're doing. I'm not going to add black on this side, although I should, because let me put this over here. There it is. Because this is where my light is. So now I'm going to grab my black. I like the, oh, there it is. This is my favorite black pencil, actually. It just, it knows how to, it talks to me. It tells me, okay, we should add this much, but not this much. So right here, there we go. And it's almost like charcoal. It's like magic. I would not trade this pencil for anybody else. It's my friend right now. There we go. It's telling me what the other guy forgot to do. He goes, let's touch this up. The other dude forgot the other color pencil. He's saying we should have done the shadow more this way. So blend it in. There we go. Leave that there. Blend it in a little bit here. He knows what he's doing. So sometimes, yeah, you do talk to your coloring tools, and for a second they're your best friend in the world. And he's saying, okay, I wouldn't have added black, but since we did, I'm going to do the shadow here for you too. So he's doing my shadow right now. Add more value here. I'm not done with the value. So right now I'm going flat. I'm blending. Okay, so let's say we have to do dirt. There's my beach down here, maybe a little bit down here. There's my beach at the distance, and a little bit, and down here too. So we're pretty, I think we're, whoops, he's saying, nope, we're not done with all the mountains. We got to put a little bit more shadow here. Let's do a mountain here too. We're pretty good down with this. Clouds. This is what he wanted to tell us. So this is how I do clouds. They're small down here for my landscape, and they get a little bit bigger the higher I go. And they get smaller the higher they go. Okay, let me close the door. My mom just left it open, and you can probably hear her watching KTLA news. Okay, so clouds. Let's finish the clouds. I might even do birds later on, but I'm going to show you how to do birds real quick too. So clouds, here's my dark side. Just like the mountains, notice I haven't put away. So, and then I arched it back here too. See that? This is where my shadow is. I'm going to make it look more like an afternoon. Let me put another cloud here. I'm going to hide that. There was some kind of writing there, and it's going to go, so it's going to be much more darker on this side. There we go. That one's going to be tinier. That one should have been tinier. There we go. I'm going to leave those because this one should be a little bit, this one. Okay, so here are my clouds. Now I'm going to grab the purple. Again, purple. I know you guys are saying, oh, Mr. Navas, what's it with you and the purple? Well, here's the deal. These are our clouds, and clouds have value too. If you ever look at them, same thing. So that's as much cloud I'm going to put on this side. I'm going to flip it around. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the baby blue. Not too much, just a little bit of the baby blue. I should actually sharpen it because I want to. It's getting darker. I'm going to have to put my studio lamp in a second. I don't like using that one because that one, it's like it feels like 110 degrees. Okay, so now I grab my baby blue. And it's going to go. Did I put purple there? I don't think I did. Oh, God, is this purple? Yeah. So I didn't use purple back here. So what I'm going to do is grabbing the baby blue. Right now, I'm going to do the top of the mountains. Not press that hard, but just very lightly. Can you guys see that? They're upside down. Can you guys see that? Okay, so now I'm going to do the top of my clouds. So I'm going to arch this. You guys can see that. There we go. Top of my clouds too. Now this one's going to get a different color, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to put pink and maybe orange or pink. There we go. See that? There are my clouds. So I did black. I arch my lines. They don't touch that much. They break. Then I added the black, a very smooth kind of gray black, purple, and then that. So I could grab the black again right here just to be on the safe side and do a shadow with this too. Not too much, just a little bit. Lets it know there's some shadow in there. texture to the cloud. So now here, this is what I'm going to do. There's going to be light on this cloud more. A little bit of yellow here, not too much. And some people put pink. I prefer orange because my light source is coming from this direction. And you will see a little bit here on the mountain. Some people I prefer maybe a little bit of yellow. Or in this case, I'm putting red. Because maybe the sun's setting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend it here. Just very soft lines. Spread them out. I'm not even touching the paper. I used too much. Maybe some orange now. This is my light source. Did I do yellow? Okay, and don't do red. I did do red, but a little bit of pink. And I'll tell you why. Now I'm going to grab my baby blue. And this is where my sky goes. The sky never touches the white portion of the horizon. And you're going to see the color. Whoops, that's too much. Let me bring this down here again. See that, guys? Bring it down here. Not too much. Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. And let it blend with the yellow and the orange. The reason is I mix the yellow with the orange or the pink, and it gets a softer light. There we go. There's our light source. And that's it. It's the rays of the sun. Maybe a few down here, but that's it. Now I'm going to spread out the blue very softly, but it's not going to touch the white of the horizon. You guys see that? Okay. Don't touch the cloud. Bring it down a bit, but not too much. Let's get this in there. There we go. Because that's light. There we go. You guys see that? See what's going on? You guys see that up close? That's what I'm doing to it. Can you guys see that? Okay. Let me bring it down here. And I want to cover this section in blue. So that's what happens with clouds. It is part of the sky, guys, but don't touch too much of it. Okay, let me bring the white here. The paper, actually. There we go. A little bit down here, but not too much. Maybe some down here, but that's it. Blend it in. I'm leaving some pieces of the white paper to pop out, or the canvas, but not too much. And then back here, whoa, that's too much. And a little bit down here too. I'm going to make it a little bit weaker on this side. There we go. See that? Okay, however, I'm going to do something different right now. Okay, so I'm bringing it blue, and the clouds do blend into the atmosphere. Not fully done with this. Let's put a bit more blue up here. There we go. So I'm going to grab the dark blue now. I'm going to use very little of the dark blue. This is black. Now all the black is showing up. When I needed it, you guys were not showing up. So let's just put these guys back here. Here's that the dark. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab my pencil sharpener, wherever I left it, and I'm going to make a long tip, or you guys call it a fine tip. That's perfect. That's going to be good. Let me throw that away. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this side a little bit darker, because maybe this is where the night's going to come out. So I'm going to blend it very nicely back here. Down here a little bit too much. A little bit down here for contrast. Okay. And we're still going to need the blue, because basically what's happening is the water's going to be reflected on the sky. There we go. Not too much, mostly up here. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. Now, grabbing a pencil if you want to. Okay, let me put a little bit more darker blue on this side. Maybe this will help too. Make this darker on the cloud. Where's the black again? And I really do need you. This part of the cloud's going to darken. I want to cover that. And let me grab the purple. this cloud is like ready to go to rain. It's ready to go rainfall. Then just darken the top too if you need to. Okay, so same thing here. I just noticed that. So back here. So the purple, I'm using purple right now. Okay, so you can do it. So let's say I grab my pencil, my birds. If I'm going to do birds, and I kind of notice that mountain should have a little bit more shadow here for contrast. So I'm going to add black here more. There we go. Give it more shadow there. Just got to be careful with this. Don't want to, I might have to just go in here. There we go. There we go. Maybe this side too. And this side. Let this mountain hill go on top too. Let it know like there's another hill here. Okay, so now birds. Let's say I have a little bird at a horizon. Anything that's down here, birds are going to look small. And best thing to do is use lots of big birds. Actually, now the higher we go, the bird's going to be more noticeable. The smaller, it's going to get smaller down here. Okay, especially on this side. Just realized, forgot about this tree here. Okay, and it does blend. So let me I'm using the black to create the shadow of this. Now, I'm going to leave the sky as it is. Birds, like I mentioned, if you want to draw birds, it's basically two arches. Okay, and they're actually smaller. Whoa, that's a big one. I should, leave it like it is. Put one down here. So see that? They're kind of migrating somewhere. There we go. It's a lot of birds. Okay, so I'm not fully done with the water. Let's finish the water. Since we're doing the sky, we're going to need two things. I'm going to go baby blue, dark blue, and maybe a little bit of light green. So I'm going to put the light green here. I'll tell you what. This is where most of my shadow is. So I want this part of the water to be darker, especially back here too. And it will kind of react towards this. Now, I wouldn't put blue. I'm going to go with the light blue. And we're going to see the ripples. Do not color the whole water. There we go. And there's some water here. So we want to put the ripples here. Spread them out. Most of it here is going to be, you notice, these are the rips. I'm going to do a little bit of this. Okay, that will work too. It's okay with the cherry blossom. Just be careful, you know where your cherry blossoms are at. But I'm going to put more ripples, small ones and long ones. You guys see that? So again, here are the ripples of the water. And they're going to be mostly noticeable here. I'm just going with the baby blue. That's it. Maybe it's going to look more blue back here. But you will have, if we were painting this, I would probably be doing a reflection if I had a longer moat or lake of the fortress. Now, if you think the shadow's too dark, grab your eraser like I am right now. See what I'm doing? And I'm erasing some of this. I'm also washing it on my clothes. I'm going like this on my fabric, like this, because I am cleaning it out. So we can do that. We can do that. So it works too. But I'm cleaning it on my clothes, which don't tell your moms or your dads, whoever does the laundry at home. If you do the laundry, you're good. But you got to be careful. You don't want to take too much of the other. Maybe I'll take some of the blue out here. So again, your erasers are your second best tool, man. Don't undermine the strength of the eraser or the function of the eraser. There we go. So now I'm deleting a lot of the shadow here. Because why am I doing it now? Why didn't I do it prior? I wanted it to sink in a bit. Okay, guys, I wanted it to sink in, and now I can remove some of this down here. There we go. These are some secrets I never did share, even with my art teachers. So, but I'm sharing it with you guys. So, a little bit off here too. Because I like to add and then detract. So, just like sculpting, a little bit of that additive. There we go. So, we pretty much detract it. There we go. We can still detract some more if you want. But yeah. And I like using the pencil eraser too. It's much better. It's like a scalpel. You go in there and it's like slicing it all out, but just the shadow. And that's something my student who did that, he actually learned that pretty quick. So I think we got a good shadow there. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's continue with the water. So we got ripples here too. And I'm going to be going this way as well. Okay. But let's go down here too. A lot of it down here. Maybe there's going to be white there. We need more white too. But here is what's going to happen is this. It's going to start darkening. Although I have ripples, there's the... And I did put blue in there. So here's a little cheat sheet. I'm going to grab some orange. It's going to get that... It's going to get that... the shadow there. Not too much. Yeah, I'm using the baby blue. It's going to get a reaction right now. Also, got to be careful about the cherry blossoms. They're down there. Okay, so they're floating. We don't want to lose the cherry blossoms. There we go. Put a little bit more darker blue down here. And if you want to go with the tip, I'm okay with that right now. Now, let's continue with the rips. Okay, they're going to be pressed much harder here. Okay, there we go. Not the dark. Okay, I think we're going to break into the darker blue right now. Let's go here. Now, the dark blue. Put in, whoops, that just snapped. Let me put a little bit darker blue here, a little bit darker blue on this side too. You're going to notice this side's going to be darker because it's farther away. It's going to look that way. Then here, but let's do the lines here. There we go. A little bit of darker blue here because it's farther away from us, but not too much. But you also want to have light reflection. There we go. There we go. And it's you can still see the cherry blossoms falling down there. They do blend into the water. I'm also controlling a little bit of water down here. Don't worry, it's going to blend in. Okay, and more ripples of the water. I'm going to put a few of the dark ones here. It's going to be a little bit darker back here because it's farther away. And also we have the mountain back there. So there we go. Even put one going across the cherry blossom. See that? So now let's finish the grass. I'm going to bring in, for the grass, several things. I'm going to bring the yellow, the green, maybe a little dark green. That will work too. So I got to figure out where is my light again. Let's say goodbye to the orange. We really don't need it there. So the light's going to be mostly on this side. So it's going to be on this side. Okay. And we're going to go back to the tree. Trust me, the color of the tree. The light's going to be hitting on this side. So I got to figure out, think of yellow as light. Okay, and it's going to be more on this side. Maybe a little bit in here too. We're going to put it here too. Maybe you can see some of this hill here. Mostly. There we go. Okay, some of it in here. Oh, definitely down here. So the light's going to hit this side of the tree. This side's going to bend. And down here. Okay, definitely a lot of yellow on this side. So let's go with the grass right now. And I should have sharpened this. Give me a garbage can. Oh my god. I know I shouldn't have done a day trip today. So now I'm going to add my green here with yellow. And you're going to notice it become very light. And that's okay. We wanted to do that. And also I did I'm only doing the top. Not too much. Not all if it's going to be yellow green. Don't go. I'm going to skip around the cherry blossoms are falling down. Maybe I should add a little more yellow on this side, especially on this side. There's going to be a lot of, just more light on this side. There we go. Should have put more yellow here. A little bit more. Not so much here because of the, and down here. Maybe a little bit back here. Not too much because we have this building right here, blocking it. But most of the light's going to be coming from this side. Maybe put it down here too. Okay. Down here, I'm going to get rid of those letters using the darker green. So now I'm going to blend in my green here. Not all of it, just a little bit. And I'm going to blend it in with the yellow. That's okay. I'm going to go into the darker green in a second. Don't think I'm just going to be flaking off on that. You guys see that? Okay, so now, right here, I'm going flat. I'm blending. There we go. But I'm not fully done with this. There we go. The cherry blossoms are still there. Good. That's a good sign. Okay. Down here. Okay. So right up here, that's where my light's going to be going. Okay, do this too. But let's get this tree. Get close to the side of the tree. Nice. Okay. Okay, it is coming. I'm not fully done. I got to add another color to this. 2 more colors. You're going to need a brown and a darker green. Whoops. Back here too. A little bit down here. I'm not going to go this much here, but just here. It will change. You know, a little bit green down here. We'll see a little bit green down here as well in the mountains, especially here. Okay, not so much back here, but because the light's on this side, you just might notice a little bit. Okay, I'm not fully done with this green. I got to come back to the edge here. There we go. Cool. Not fun. And the reason is always blend your lighter colors first. So I put more right here. There we go. Right here. Okay, so, and remember, you learned that brown is part of the orange family. So that means its frenemy will be purple. Purples and blues are related. They're like second and third cousins, and they can gang up on orange, or its cousin, the brown. So yeah, they can gang up on him, but not the green. So now what I have to do with the green is 2 things. Not done. I got to do this first because my video is running short. Of time. Okay, so I put in a little bit of green down here too. A little bit of green here. Use the tip. Bring it close to that. Okay, so darker green. Here's my darker green. Okay, so now this is where my shadow is. So I'm going to blend my darker green right now, especially here. Remember, I'm running out of time, so not done with this yet. I'm going to use the green for my shadow. Let me hide that P there. There we go. So I'm using this for shadow right here between the tree trunks. Right here. There we go. But I'm going to be fully done with that. Maybe a little bit down here. I shouldn't put it down here, but it might just help. Maybe down here too. Because cherry blossoms they look like translucent. Okay, so I'm not fully done yet. Now, I do have a soft brown, and it's getting night over here, and it's making very hard for me to find my colors. I had that kind of attempt, so I'm going to use this brown instead. It's 2, so I'm going to go very soft, and this is going to be my dirt. See that? There's my dirt. So it's not just grass. It's dirt. Am I fully done? No. I gotta do it looks like, let's get the dirt in there. Very softly. And here too. Just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to put too much brown in there. But we want to see that there's dirt underneath there. And it's covering the white paper now. Okay, and if you want to put it here on the mountains, very softly, you can do that. I used to do that as well when I used to draw my mountains. Because we want them to look like there's dirt in there too. They're made of dirt. They're not just a little bit brown there. Here's the trick to do these bang clouds. We're going to do the opposite now. I'm going to grab the purple, if I can find it, now that it's all completely dark. That's one of the terrible things of getting old. Here's a purple, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna grab this, and right here, there we go. See that? This is the part that's going down to the, you can call it the beach of the, and I'm gonna make dirt. And I'm gonna grab the yellow, put it down here. I'm doing the opposite, just like I did with the trees, and I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow there. And I can't see too well right now because of my eyes. And it's gonna darken. Did I darken there? Maybe a little bit of yellow here. Oh, there's the tan one I was looking for. This is what I use for dirt. And now what I'm gonna do is do my dirt right now, my transition dirt right here. There we go. There's my transition dirt. Quick, there we go. Now, if you want to make your dirt a little bit lighter, there's a trick to that. Just grab the orange now. Remember, I told you orange. Okay, it does blend in. So grabbing, good heavens, where's the orange I was using? This is it. I can make this, give it, I shouldn't do it back here because that's where the lights, should do it here because this is where the light's mostly coming from. There we go. Go back to the lighter tan. See that? This is the one I wanted to use for dirt. To contrast the other brown. Actually blends in much nicer with the green. It does actually. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, right here. Especially with the castle. And there we go. Contrast the. There we go. A little bit on the mountain. And I think we're pretty much done with our landscape here. So you're done. Take a picture, submit it, and you're done. It should take you 4.5 days or 2.5 days we meet. And then you can put your stamp in Japanese right there, and you're done your Japanese landscape. There you guys go. Have a good evening. Remember, my videos go a little bit long, so I want you guys to skip around. You don't have to watch the whole thing, okay? Again, do not watch the whole thing. Skip around, so you guys can catch them up. So we did our mountains, where our background is, horizon line, atmosphere, foreground, subject of the landscape, and we use the color wheel to blend our colors. And if you look really close, you can see the cherry blossoms. Unfortunately, camera can hold, I wanted them to look translucent, like dandelions. When you blow on the dandelions, that's what cherry blossom trees. And there's some very old, big trunk cherry blossom trees in Japan. One side is much lighter, and then we have shadow on the other. Okay, and don't give up on your eraser. Mountains are always done in purple. Clouds, they should be smaller up here and bigger when they get here. I kind of made a faux pas here, but that's what happens when you rush. Also, remember your shadows, guys, okay? So that's basically it. Take a picture of it, turn it in, and you should be good. I'm going to try to upload this onto YouTube tonight. Later.